In a groundbreaking development, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and Turkey have officially announced their intention to join BRICS, the prestigious association of emerging economies. But what does this mean for the world order? Could this new alliance reshape geopolitical dynamics and challenge established power structures? Join us as we unravel the significance of this historic decision and explore its potential implications. Is this the beginning of a new era in international relations? Let's watch it out. The Russian invasion of Ukraine not only resulted in a war between Russia and Ukraine, but it also sparked a conflict that was fraught with meaning and was fought over by nations located further to the west and further to the east. The most recent events seem to point to the fact that the East-West axis in international relations is associated with expenses for both the East and the West. Changes in politics, the military, and the economy in the Middle East, the Caucasus, and the Balkans have a significant impact on the foreign policy options available to regional actors. These actors have to choose between the policy options presented to them by Russia, China, or the Western powers. In the United States, with the United States taking the lead among the Western powers. In the meantime, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and Turkey are behaving in a manner that is consistent with the reality of contemporary multipolar international politics. As an example, Turkey is able to successfully maintain political, military, and economic ties with multiple states, some of which have occasionally clashing interests and resist a unilateral alignment in its foreign policy. This allows Turkey to play a significant role in the region. Egypt and Saudi Arabia, two major states in the Middle East, try to advance their own national objectives almost independently of the great powers' political, military, and economic ambitions. It is possible that these three countries, which have recently experienced some degree of political normalization, are now making progress towards the next level of interaction within one of the most significant groupings of emerging economies, which is known as BRICS: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. In this regard, the weight of these actors in the global economic structure may be inferred from the fact that BRICS is one of the organizations of non-Western actors that participate in the world political and economic system. The role of Turkey as a mediator. As a result of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Turkey was thrust into the spotlight as a key player in the resolution of issues such as ceasefire negotiations between Russia and Ukraine and the management of global transboundary crisis. To play this role, Turkey combined its extensive diplomatic history with the importance of its geographical location. Turkey has continued conversations with both Russia and Ukraine as part of its own foreign policy and as part of its role as an international actor, working in partnership with international institutions. The authorities in Turkey were successful in bringing the warning parties together in Turkey, and they worked with Russia, Ukraine, and the United Nations to form the Grain Corridor deal in order to address the regional and global food crisis. It is important to stress the fact that Turkey is a member of NATO and also maintains links with Russia. As a result, Turkey is in a position to keep communication and diplomatic lines open. After the Grain Corridor deal, Turkish and Russian nuclear cooperation continues to develop as seen by the Akuyu nuclear power plant. This is because Turkey is seen as the most trustworthy third party, which receives the appreciation of both Russia and Ukraine. Saudi Arabia and Egypt are two regional heavyweights that trade carefully in the midst of the Russian invasion of Ukraine, as well as other regional worldwide issues. For example, Egypt maintains its close ties with the United States, but at the same time works closely with Russia on nuclear-related issues. Egypt condemned the Russian invasion of Ukraine at the UN General Assembly, but did not entirely oppose Russia and tries to sustain a balanced policy. On the one hand, Egypt historically needs the political backing of the West, especially in terms of political legitimacy and foreign aid. On the other hand, the high number of Ukrainian tourists visiting Egypt and the substantial amount of grain imported from Russia required Egypt to pursue a more balanced approach toward the conflict. Historically, Egypt has needed the political backing of the West, political legitimacy, and foreign aid. The Saudi Arabian strategy of maintaining a healthy balance. Although today's international relations have a multipolar structure, the Russian invasion of Ukraine again provoked and highlighted an East-West confrontation. At this juncture, Saudi Arabia, much like Turkey and Egypt, adopts a stance that is objectively unbiased and fair-minded towards this manner. Not only does Saudi Arabia, along with the other Gulf states, adhere to this policy of moderation in its opposition to Russia's invasion, but it also maintains this stance in relation to the East-West axis. Saudi Arabia is strengthening its military and diplomatic connections with China and Russia. Additionally, Saudi Arabia is in discussions with Russia regarding the purchase of Russian military gear, and Saudi Arabia and Russia have signed a defense cooperation pact. The development of ballistic missiles on Saudi territory is another area in which the kingdom is collaborating with China. The United States administration did not succeed in building a front against Russia, Iran, and China at the Jeddah Security and Development Summit in 2022, which was attended by Vice President Joe Biden of the United States. Biden also met with the leaders of the GCC states as well as Egypt, Jordan, and Iraq. The primary purpose of Biden's visit was to accomplish this goal. The idea was politely overridden by several states that have close and interdependent political, military, and economic ties with Russia and China. It is in everyone's best interest for Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt to strengthen their ties with other BRICS members, and this interest is mutual. Purnima Anand, a spokesperson of the BRICS International Forum, has stated that it is possible for these three governments to join the BRICS countries in the near future. What would the BRICS alliance provide to Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt? If these three countries were to join the BRICS group, it would almost immediately mark a significant turning point, not only for themselves, but also for the other member states and the organization as a whole. Particularly in Chinese media, it is suggested that the three companies' participation would improve the organization's debate on global governance and a fairer international political and economic system. In addition, the gross domestic product, GDP, of Saudi Arabia and Turkey, which is each more than $800 billion, and Egypt's GDP, which also surpasses $400 billion, would mean that BRICS would increase by about $2 trillion, and its potential and influence in the world economic arena would be greatly enhanced. Along these same lines, the participation of Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan in the BRICS meeting that took place in the capital of South Africa in 2018 had advanced the discussion regarding the country's membership. This is a topic that occasionally appears on the agenda for Turkish foreign policy. Unquestionably significant is the Economic Forum, which is composed of 5 states with a combined GDP of $21 to $22 trillion and approximately half of the world's population. These states would be able to maintain their balance-oriented foreign policies within the framework of the East-West axis with the assistance of the partnerships that Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt can establish with various economic organizations such as the Association of Southeast Asia Nations, ASEAN, the Southern Common Market, Mercosur, and the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. These partnerships could also serve as a healthy bridge between the region and the West. Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt all have the potential to develop these relations. Basically, the countries that make up the BRICS bloc shared the objective of modernizing the global monetary and financial institutions, as well as the strong desire to establish a global order that is more equitable and well-balanced. 17% of the global trade and 1/3 of global GDP are accounted for by members of the BRICS community, making them an extremely important player in the process of formulating global economic policy and fostering financial stability. There has been substantial progress made in reducing global poverty as a result of the BRICS countries' efforts. Continued growth of the BRICS economies is essential for bringing about a reduction in global disparities and in the incidence of poverty. BRICS has lately emerged as the voice of developing countries, also known as the Global South, and has played a crucial role in defending the rights of developing countries around the world. This has been accomplished via the reduction of poverty as well as steadfast attempts to bridge imbalances. This unprecedented collaboration between these influential Middle Eastern nations and the renowned BRICS Association has the potential to reshape the geopolitical landscape, ushering in a new era of cooperation and influence. But the story doesn't end here. To stay informed and delve deeper into the implications of this groundbreaking development, be sure to subscribe to our channel and don't miss out on our future videos.